Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Today's drama, The Comic Strip Killer. 2 weeks ago, at a busy midtown intersection, a well-dressed middle-aged man starts uncertainly across the street against the red light. Hey, mister, look out. You're going to get hit. Oh, he got it. Lucky the driver just grazed him, though. Hey, mister, you all right?
All right.
Poor guy must have fainted. Holy smokes, this guy's dead. A week later, as the usual crowd pour down the steps of the public library at closing hour, an elderly woman starts down, then suddenly plunges forward headlong and comes to rest in a twisted heap at the bottom step.
Too bad her heel must have caught in the steps. Took a nasty fall. You all right, madam? Madam? What's she dead?
And just 24 hours ago in the police commissioner's office.
And this is the third one, Cranston. That body I just showed you in the morgue was the third victim in 3 weeks. Fell from the stands during Saturday's football game. 1, 2, 3 cases. Just like that.
Well, accidents do happen, Commissioner, sometimes 3 in a row.
But these were not accidents, Lamont.
What?
No, Margot. Those people didn't die from being hit by taxis or tripping on the stairs or falling from football stands.
No, then how?
They were poisoned.
Poison?
When the poison took hold, they collapsed, and it just appeared they were killed accidentally.
Are you positive,
Of
Commissioner?
course I'm positive, Cranston. Just got the medical examiner's report from the third office. And all 3 died from the same type of poison.
But they all 3 have been suicides.
I hardly think so, Margot. People don't usually take poison and then wander around the streets or go shopping.
Were there any marks on the bodies? Any indication of how the poison was taken?
Well, that's the really baffling part of it. There were no marks at all, none. The medical examiner's going out of his mind along with me.
See what you mean. If this killer isn't picked up in a hurry, you'll have a lot of jittery citizens on your hands.
You're telling me.
All 3 murders took place in busy public places. It's obvious the killer likes to circulate best in a crowd where he can get lost fast.
You haven't any theories, have you, Cranston?
I might have, but I think it would sound a little ridiculous right now. Later, maybe. Well, come on, Margot. You and I have a little research to do.
This is our day to be mysterious.
Play along with it, Margot. Even a Cranston theory is better than none. I'll telephone you just as soon as something new turns up. And let's hope it's not another victim.
Good luck, Commissioner.
Thanks, Lamont. I can sure use some. See you later, Margot.
Goodbye, Commissioner. Well, Lamont?
You like morgues, Margot?
Oh, they give me the creeps. Why?
And how about newspaper morgues?
Oh, well, they're different. What would we be going to a newspaper morgue for?
Well, we might be going to read up on old comic strips, Margot.
Lamont, be serious.
I am.
Well, this doesn't have something to do with that theory you said you couldn't tell Commissioner Weston about.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder you thought it was too ridiculous to mention to the commissioner.
It might not be as ridiculous as you think, Margot. Depends a lot on which comic strip you read. I fill this needle and send the next victim on a one-way trip to Never Never Land.
For heaven's sake, Lamont, what are you mumbling?
Huh? Oh, sorry, darling.
I've been poring over those old comics just for the last 15 minutes. Don't you think it's about time you told me why this sudden interest in the funny papers?
I've been arranging these comic strips so they fall in sequence for the past month. Here, look here.
It's Jack Prescott's detective story strip.
Yes, featuring his latest weird character, this time an elusive and deadly gentleman known as Hypo.
Listen to this caption. Hypo, new type of killer who's traded the old-fashioned automatic for the modern hypodermic needle.
Ooh, horrible. Horrible and fascinating to 2 million readers, at 4 million on Sunday.
It looks like an emaciated version of Boris Karloff. Tall, thin, dresses all in gray so as to be difficult to identify.
Sure, darling.
Let's see. He eliminates his victims with a hypodermic needle filled with a new, fast-working poison that always attacks in crowded areas. Come on. You don't think there's some connection between those three mysterious murders and this comic strip character?
I think there might be, Margot. Of course, we still don't know how the killer actually committed the murders, but we do know the victims died of poison and that they were attacked in crowded areas.
Yes, that's true.
Some crazy killer might have been inspired by this idea, or some homicidal maniac has really taken these comic strips to heart.
How awful. Well, this man who draws this character, this Jack Prescott, he must be practically a psychopathic case himself.
Oh, I understand Prescott's a very mild, home-loving man. He's one of the best liked cartoonists in the business.
Do you know him, Lamont?
Well enough to bluff my way through social calls.
Would you think he'd be able to tell you if there's any basis for this theory of yours?
He might, Margot. He has a studio over on Park Place. Why don't we go over and see?
I'm afraid this Jack Prescott's not going to like this idea of yours very much, darling.
He's a reasonable man, Margot. I think he'll admit there might be a connection between his comic strip and these mysterious murders. Oh, here we are.
I feel sort of frightened. Isn't that ridiculous?
Not at all. After all, you're about to visit the birthplace of some of America's most notorious villains. Cyanide Susie, Wasp Waste, Gimlet Eye.
Well?
Oh, hello, Harry. I'm
Mr. Prescott can't be disturbed. He's very busy right now.
I phoned Mr. Prescott today, and he invited me to drop in, Harry.
What's the name, please?
Lamont Cranston and Margot Lane.
Very well. Wait right here.
Am I getting ideas, or does he look something like hypo?
That's Harry Borden, Prescott's handyman. The story goes he serves as everything from Prescott's butler to chauffeur. He's supposed to have modeled for hypo.
He isn't exactly the kind of person I'd have around for a man Friday.
Mr. Prescott will see you. But don't stay too long. He's trying to make a deadline with Cynthia.
Thank you, Harry. Come in, Margot.
This is very upsetting, Mr. Cranston, this theory of yours.
I know it sounds fantastic, Mr. Prescott.
Well, all I can say is that this gives me a new reason for wanting to get out of the crime comics and switch to something lighter.
But, Mr. Prescott, you've made such a great success in this field.
Oh, thanks, Miss Lane, but I'm beginning to find it a little depressing, dreaming up monsters and ogres. A little exhausting, too.
Exhausting?
It may sound funny, but it's real work. Dreaming up a bigger and better villain every month or so. I spend 12 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Comics are a serious business, eh? How did you conceive the character of Hypo, Mr. Prescott?
Well, Dr. Murray Schumacher, he's a biochemist, first gave me the idea, Mr. Cranston. He's an expert on poisons of all kinds.
Dr. Murray Schumacher?
Yes. He gave me a lot of valuable technical material. Although I didn't tell him at the time I intended to use it in the strip. I've been doing a little research on my own, too.
Oh, I see. Do you know where Dr. Schumacher's living now?
Yes, I believe his laboratory is just outside of town on Hillcrest Road, I believe. Yes. He hates publicity, however. He'd be very upset if he became involved in a sensational story like this.
I'm afraid personal feelings are going to have to go by the boards in this case, Mr. Prescott. As long as this killer's on the loose, none of us are safe.
Yes, of course. I feel terribly that my work might be connected with these murders, Mr. Cranston. Now, if you or the police want any more information, please call us.
We will, Mr. Prescott. Thanks very much for your help. Coming, Martha?
Oh, yes, of course.
Keep in touch with me, won't you, Mr. Cranston? I'll be anxious to know of any development.
Be glad to. Bye, Mr. Prescott.
Goodbye.
So long.
Poor man. He's really worried about this thing, Lamont.
Seems to be.
He looks so tired.
This way, please.
Oh, he scared me.
I'll show you to the door.
I don't think that'll be necessary, Harry. I can see it right there.
I don't know what your business is, Mr. Cranston. But if it has something to do with those murders, I suggest you go to the police.
How did you know we were talking about the murders, Harry?
I know everything that goes on in this house.
I see.
Remember what I've said, Mr. Cranston. You get me more ideas, don't bring them here. Understand?
Yes, Harry. I think I understand. Come on, Martha.
Lamont? Darling, you haven't said a word for 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Margot. I was just thinking about our talk with Jack Prescott. Also the fact it might be worth checking the Harry Borden's record.
Good idea. Where are we going now, Dr. Schumacher?
No, Margot, not until I've had a chance to check on an idea that just occurred to me.
That sounds very much as if you're going to drop me off at home.
I am, darling. I'll call you in the morning after I've done a little scientific research of my own. Hello.
Cranston. Commissioner Weston. Sorry to wake you up at this hour, Cranston.
No, you didn't wake me, Commissioner. I was doing some work. Why, what's up?
Another murder, just like the others.
Huh?
Guy collapsed in front of the Globe building, reading the news flash. They rushed him to the hospital.
Another victim?
Yeah. Only this time it's somebody with a name.
What name, Commissioner?
The cartoonist. Jack Prescott. Jack Prescott, creator of the comic strip villain Hypo, is the fourth victim to fall as a mysterious killer continues to elude the police. Cranston, Margot, and Commissioner Weston are at the hospital bedside as a doctor examines the semi-delirious Prescott.
It's all my fault, I tell you, all my fault. I created a monster with my own pen. He's spreading death in the street.
Oh, there now, Mr. Prescott.
No, I'll never draw hypo again, never.
Try and rest, Mr. Prescott.
No,
Step over here, please.
What is his name?
Here, Miss Tess.
He's taking it hard.
You think it's mostly mental, Doctor?
Oh, we should be able to send him home today.
Any idea what kind of a drug it is, Doctor?
I can't say, Commissioner, but whatever it is, he didn't absorb enough of it to make serious trouble.
Probably squirmed away before the killer could inflict a full dose.
But how the killer injected the stuff is another question. I can't find a mark on the patient.
That's been puzzling us.
We'll let you know if we learn anything new, Commissioner.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, you'll excuse us. Marvin and I walk out with you, Commissioner.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Right out. Love of Pete. Who was that hypo character Prescott was babbling about? Jack Prescott's latest comic strip villain. He's supposed to get big money for rubbing out his victims with a hypodermic needle.
Lamont thinks the murderer may have gotten the idea from this comic strip character.
Cranston, you're not serious. As you said, Cranston's theory is better than none. These murders did have something to do with this hypo character. How do you explain the fact that there are no marks of a hypodermic needle on any of the victims? That's the part of the theory I'm still working on, Commissioner. I see. Well, this is where I leave you. And if you don't mind, I'll stick to the book on this case. You can keep the funny papers, Cranston.
Good night, Commissioner.
Come on, Margaret, we've got things to do.
What's the sudden rush, Doc?
I want to get over to Dr. Schumacher's place right away.
Dr. Schumacher?
Yes, Margot, you're going to pay him a personal visit.
Now, just a second, darling. Let me get this straight. I'm to interview Dr. Schumacher as a newspaper reporter. Is that right?
That's right. Get him to talking, Margot. Find out all you can.
Well, suppose he doesn't want to talk to the press.
Well, an interview may flatter his ego.
From what Jack Prescott said about him, I'm not exactly looking forward to finding myself alone with this Dr. Schumacher.
You won't be alone, Margot. The shadow will be there, too. Yes?
Dr. Schumacher?
Yes?
My name is Mary Morrison. I'm a reporter from the Globe. I'm doing a story on the recent series of poison murders, and I thought you might be able to give me some new angles on toxicology.
No.
But I really wanted an authoritative viewpoint, and Jack Prescott, the cartoonist...
Prescott? You've been talking to Jack Prescott?
Oh, yes. He mentioned you as a source of his material.
Come in.
Well, I just...
Come in. I don't usually give interviews about my work. I can't let this scatterbrain propaganda Prescott gives to the newspapers go unnoticed.
You think Mr. Prescott's comic strip constitutes a menace to society, Dr. Schumacher?
Prescott is an opportunist who will take a scientific topic and squeeze it for every drop of its commercial value.
I see. How did you happen to become a specialist in toxicology, Doctor?
Poison can be one of the most interesting as well as beautiful things in the world, my dear.
Beautiful, did you say, Dr. Schumacher?
Yes. Poison kills the undesirable.
What?
Yes, like trees, insects, animals, people. When undesirables are eliminated, remains only beauty.
I see. Dr. Schumacher, the real purpose of my interview is...
I have a collection of notes entitled Timetable for Death, telling to the fraction of a second how long it takes for certain poisons to take effect. I'll get it for you. And let's see.
Shadow.
I hear you, Margot.
I'm scared. He sounds absolutely mad.
Hold on for a few more minutes. There's something I've still got to find out. Don't worry, Margot. The Shadow is watching every move.
Now you will see how accurately death can be calculated. I'm fond of the title. Timetable for Death. It's like looking at the schedule of trains. Slow ones and fast ones. But all of these trips are one-way journeys. You see, there is no round trip.
You have a laboratory, too, I suppose, Doctor?
Yes. Would you like to see the latest specimen from my laboratory? Not very pretty, of course. Well, you see what happened to this creature. As a result of poison. You will have something worth writing about. I'll get it for
Dr.
you.
Schumacher, please.
This cursed asthma of mine. I'd almost forgotten about it. If I climb those stairs, I'll be wheezing for the rest of the day. Excuse me a minute. I'll get someone who can get it.
All right, Margot, get out fast.
Shadow, I haven't
Never
got...
mind that now, Margot. Just get out of here. Hurry.
But, Lamont, I don't get it. Dr. Schumacher is just about to tell us something important, and suddenly the Shadow decides to call it off. Why?
I realize you're talking to Dr. Schumacher is a waste of time. We have far more important thing to do right away.
You get more puzzling by the
I'll
minute.
explain everything later, darling. Right now, we're going to Prescott's studio. There's something I've got to find, and this time we've got to work fast. Now, this pass key will get you in the front door here. I'm going in through another entrance. When you get into Prescott's studio, your job will be to delay intruders, whoever they may be.
Oh, don't take too long, Lamont. This decoy business is beginning to wear on my nerves.
I won't. Good luck, darling.
Looks like I have the place all to myself, all right. What in the world can Lamont have on his mind? Whatever it is, I hope he doesn't take too long finding it. I didn't like this studio before, and I don't like it now. So... Oh, hello, Harry. Well, I came here alone on business.
What kind of business?
Well, I'm a newspaper reporter. That's it. I thought maybe I could do a story on Mr. Prescott.
Perhaps we're not interested in publicity.
Oh, Harry, I wish you'd sit down.
I'll sit down as soon as you leave. Well, are you going, or do I have to throw you out?
Like, I can't leave right now, Harry.
No? Why not?
Well, I have to wait until the police arrive.
Police? What are they coming here for?
They're coming here to investigate. After all, an attack was made on Mr. Prescott's life, and the murderer still hasn't been found.
And he won't be either.
What did you say?
I mean, he won't be unless they get a new angle. This hypo theory is ridiculous.
Is it? What makes you so sure?
I know.
How do you know?
I just know, that's all.
It couldn't be that because you modeled for the character of Hypo, you began to think and act like him.
No.
And that finally you had to see if you could kill like him and get away with it. You got away with it 3 times, so you tried the supreme test.
You're crazy.
You tried to murder the creator of the very character you were impersonating. You tried to kill Mr. Prescott, didn't you? You tried to...
All right. Did try to kill him. And I'm sorry I didn't succeed. But you're not going to be able to tell anybody about it.
Now, wait a second, Harry.
I told you to get out. Now you're going out where nobody will find you. Very interesting.
Mr. Prescott.
I didn't hear you come in, sir. You seem to be confused, my boy. You're not talking to Mr. Prescott. You're talking to Hypo. Listen to me, Mr. Prescott. Notice how I move around the room swiftly, noiselessly, like death itself. It might interest you to know that I'm receiving $5,000 in advance to have you, shall we say, erased.
Mr. Prescott, please.
Oh, the young lady. An unscheduled job. This is going to cost an extra. A double feature tricky business. Sir, put down that instrument. Listen to me for a minute. 1 minute and one thing I always pride myself on is neatness, Harry. No guns, no knives. That's why Hypo was the highest paid killer in the murder racket. Mr. Prescott, look at me. It's me, Harry Ford. We're going to handle the whole thing efficiently and...
Mr. Prescott, please.
Forgive me, young lady. I'll take the gentleman. No, like painless and very swift. You'll hardly feel it when I insert the poison.
Killed.
Yes. Now you, young lady.
No.
Quickly, we... What happened? Someone's holding my arm. Who's holding me? Who are you?
This is the Shadow.
Shadow. Another killer as elusive as the great Hypo.
Shadow is no killer, Prescott. I'm here to keep people like you from killing.
You'll never stop me. I'm the greatest of them all. A modern murderer who injects death with a hypodermic needle.
It's merely a horrible distortion of your mind, Prescott.
I'm not Prescott. I'm Hypo, the great killer.
You've killed, yes, but you're not a killer. And murdering characters is only a creation of your overwrought imagination and exhausted brain.
Hypo, the great killer.
You're an artist whose facile mind has played a terrible trick.
Hypo, the great...
And you'll pay for your crimes. Not by death, but in an institution.
I'm Hypo, the great killer.
Well, that's the whole story, Commissioner. The peak of mental exhaustion, Prescott's mind snapped, and he reverted to the character of his own creation.
Real schizophrenic. Good personality, huh?
What about Harry Borden, Commissioner? Is he going to be all right?
The doctor said he pulled through okay. He's gotten a load of the same stuff Prescott got. Yes, he did. You see, Harry found out the truth about Prescott. In a loyal effort to shield his boss from suspicion, made what looked like an attempt on Prescott's life.
So Harry was the one who attacked Prescott?
Yes. Actually, the stuff Harry shot into Prescott must have been a watered-down toxin or a powerful sedative. It's the same stuff that was left in the syringe when Prescott went wild and tried to kill Harry.
Oh, I see. I still don't understand how you discovered it was Prescott, Lamont.
Well, Dr. Schumacher was out. Could hardly have been a swift, elusive killer with a bad case of asthma.
Oh, of course.
And I remember that Prescott said he was doing research on his own. So I went looking for a private laboratory.
And when you found it, you found the knockout drop?
Yes. A good deal more, too. I found the key to the whole case. One of the mysterious murder weapons. Look,
What looks like a small flashlight.
called a hypo spray. It works on the basis of a high-pressure air gun. You hold it against the skin, and it blasts fluid painlessly through the pores. The patient doesn't even feel the injection.
So that's why the victims didn't know they'd been poisoned. And why there were no needle marks on their bodies.
A hypo spray. Well, it must be something new.
It's so new, Margot, that the first real publicity about it's in this week's Life magazine.
They're darned. Well, Cranston, I guess I'll have to take back what I said about your comic strip theory.
That's all right, Weston.
Colonel, I hope this doesn't set a new trend in crime reduction. I've trouble enough getting through all the police stories on the front page without having to comb the comic strips every day.
no.